Black and Wiki video. Black and
Hi there and welcome to a new Plugin Guru Quickie video. It's January 2011. My name is John Skippy Limcool and this is Plugin Guru Quickie video number 7. And in this one we're going to take a look at 3 different effect processors that are real-time mangling effects for deconstructing songs, remixes, audio tracks, just a single stem of a song if you need to have some cool things happen to it. These effects are awesome for this type of an application. One of them was just introduced at the NAMM show called Stutter Edit by Isotope. The other one has been around for a little while and I did a quickie video on it, and that's the Core Player's native instruments, the Finger, and I'll show it to you both in this format as well as also as a Reactor plugin to show you kind of the difference between the two shortly. And we're also going to take a look at Artillery 2, which is another real-time effect processor for mangling things in real time. Before we get into that part, let me tell you real quickly, these videos are produced and sponsored by my website, pluginguru.com, and at my website I make patches for virtual instruments. So if you have Native Instruments FM8, Massive, if you have Stylus RMX, you need new drum kits and new really cool time designer templates and new multis and want to know how they work. Not only do I make patch banks, but I also provide free video tutorials. And you'll find them to help you get more out of these virtual instruments. There's so much at this. Look at this interface. There's over 10 effects right here that you can call up on a single key. And the interface looks like you're flying some sort of an airplane somewhere. So I try to step you through some of these things and show you how they work and what they're for and what things mean. And you'll find that in all the videos that I do. So make sure you go to my website and check those out if you want. All right, so we're going to get into Stutter Edit first. Before we do that, let me show you real quickly what's going on and how we're going to do this so it's not too confusing. I've created a remix. I'm pretending we've got a make-believe remix going on. I took a Taiho Cruise track and I want to give them credits. So we'll go like, their album Rockstar is a really good record for if you're into the pop kind of dance thing. Great sounds, good songs. Not all of them are great, but most of them are. Some of them I won't let my daughter play in here. Anyway. I took one of his tracks and chopped up just pieces of it. Then I added drums. Then I had some big synth parts. And the whole thing, as you can see, I've routed everything through bus 1. And everything is set to bus 1 pre-fader, which means the signal is full volume before the fader. So no matter what happens to the fader, it's still going through the bus at a high volume. So I can turn down the output level of all of these tracks, and then I control the volume of each track independently through how much of the value I send to this bus. And I've turned down the volume of the bus, so you don't even hear the bus. I'm just routing this audio to, now it's this audio chain that you can tap into. So when you call up Stutter Edit, or you call up the other effects in the top right corner in Logic Pro, down at the bottom of the list, it says bus 1. And you select that, and since I've done that, and I've got my... Now when I play a note, and you'll see the notes over here will change for the presets. And you got filtering on the mod wheel. So I'm doing all sorts of stuff in real time. Each note that I play on the keyboard is calling up a different preset. As you can see, it changes the effect. So you can see what you have. You've got the stutter, which is determining this timing resolution of what the stutter will do. And if you set it to really close values like that, it stays at one value. So now it's going to stutter at whatever timing value that is. What note is this? This is G sharp 2. So now if I play my track, I move this to a higher value like this, now it's going to stutter and shift the ground. You'll hear it. So there's a couple ways to use that. The cool thing, they call this gesture control, because down below each one of these settings, you see this from the left to the right. You see two different curvature shapes. If you put it right in the middle, it's linear, which means it's going to change the same amount of value as it changes in time. So it's going to be a smooth transition. A lot of musical things are exponential, where it waits until the very end and then it comes up, like attacks. If you look at the attacks of a lot of instruments, synthesizer, we love decay envelopes that have great exponential shapes because it's very smooth at the end of the fade out of the tail instead of being chopped. And an exponential is the other way. So I could take something like this. Let's listen to this linear again. So we have, this is a good example. So it's smooth, right? I'm going to move it to the right. It's going to stay up high until the end. You see the timing change? Now the other way, it's going to go faster down. So it just hits the top for a second. So this controls the curvature of the gesture for every one of these parameters. There's a different one of these little crazy sliders under every parameter. And so that makes this really powerful. Now the timing value thing that it can do over here for the stutter is just massive. Let's turn off a lot of these effects just by clicking to turn them off. I just want to have the stutter on and not even gate. And we're going to, what happens is this. Okay, so we're starting slow and we're going up to here. So after 1024th notes, it becomes pitches. And so if you click to turn these on, believe it or not, it will now add pitches. So now as we play it, since I turn those on, I now have to tick and click my slider. And if I keep going up above, you see how this changes to show note values. So it's finding all those notes. So now when I hit play, you didn't hear it go to notes, but you heard it slide up to the notes. So let's turn on quantize, have it walk them at eighth notes. So now when I play, so let's give it fewer steps to go with, so that it starts at 64th notes, then 256 notes, 500. You click here to turn on what resolutions you want it to step through. It's kind of a cool idea. There's a note up here where he's actually got a whole bunch of stuff happening. So if we hit play again and watch this. This really is one of those effects that you need to play with. You just download the demo and play with it. Because not only do you have all these effects that you can turn on a note, you could say, no, I don't want it to do that thing. I want it to do what's called a generator. And a generator can be a noise sweep. It can be a thing that goes thud and sweeps up and does all sorts of crazy things. There's all these different types of noise tables to choose from. So you could say like low crash. So now we play the song. Turn on the delay, filtering. Now you got space effects. And these can happen at the same time. So I'm going to mute that channel, and I have all these routed up so that I can just go like this, and now I have the audio. Going through the chord player. So we can take a look at the chord player with the effect for the finger and call it different presets and hit play. as you can see, you can't tell what you're doing. So one of the drawbacks to using the chord player and the finger is you've got all these notes are calling up different preset effects, but you don't know what they are. Not very fun. It's still cool, and you can like rehearse and find the things that work and don't work. But the one that works better is if you have Reactor, because here you can see your list of effects, and each time you play a note, it's going to tell you which effect it's being used for that note. So now when I play it, I gotta go here. Now, a couple of things to note is that Reactor and the finger works in real time, so that the sequencer doesn't have to be playing. Stutter Edit has to have the sequencer playing, so that's one of the big differences. These effects are incredible. What's cool with using Reactor is that you have some parameters. You don't have as many parameters in a lot of cases as you do with Stutter Edit. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you is artillery. So let's turn this off. Turn off the finger and turn on artillery. But let me show you real quick. Just listen to the sound quality. There's a demo version of this too, but as you can see, its interface is a little different. You click here and you see the parameters. Anywhere you click over here on a parameter that has a modulation amount, you can choose from MIDI step sequencers, envelope followers, a whole bunch of different modulation sources to change that parameter, which is really cool. It's useful for getting things to change and vary over time. But here we go. So so we gotta go here and tell bus 1. So it's got the turntable effects. Cool. You can call up the effects to have certain notes turned on. So you can compress the daylights out of it if you want. That's pretty huge. So it's not quite the same interface and feedback that you're going to get with the other effect plugins. So it's cool. Check it out if you want. There it is. Let's see. Turn that off. Get back to Stutter Edit. Stutter Edit is definitely got a little bit more of a polish to it. Must admit. All right, well, that concludes this quickie video. Soon we're going to start up our series on Absinthe 5 when I release the Absinthe 5 Power Pack. That's just right around the corner. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being good customers. I appreciate it very much. Your support helps keep us going and doing more. So see you in the next one. Bye.